Kia ora. A large area of high pressure across New Zealand brings some relatively settled weather to start the week across us. But if we take a little bit of a look just up towards the north, you can see we have got a much more active set of weather up in the tropics. Now that high pressure is going to act as a really good block, keeping most of the weather away from the likes of New Zealand. However, we have got two tropical systems named up in the tropics. The first one, this tropical cyclone out towards the east of Fiji, currently Category 2, Tropical Cyclone Ray. That's set to move down towards the south and the east, but again staying away from New Zealand. And out towards the Coral Sea, this tropical cyclone here set again to deepen as we head through the rest of the week, staying offshore from Australia for most of the week. And that's Tropical Cyclone Alfred. As we head in towards the weekend, that may curve back round to be more of an issue for the likes of the Queensland coast. So worth keeping up to date with the information from the team over at the Bureau of Meteorology in Australia, and also the team at Fiji for the Fiji Met Service for information about Ray. But like I say, they are likely to stay away from us in New Zealand. And for the next few days, high pressure is really the driving force for the weather. As we head in towards tomorrow, we'll start to find a front moves up to the south. It starts to bring that wetter weather in towards Fiordland and Southland, but the heaviest rainfall through Fiordland and Westland. Well, up on the North Island, most of us should get away with a dry day today, a dry night, and even in towards tomorrow, plenty of dry weather. Overnight tonight, you can see this front continues to move up from the south. It brings that rainfall into Fiordland and spreads up towards Westland, and by the end of the night, some rain reaching through towards Southland and even in towards parts of Otago as well, but through most of Canterbury, up in towards Nelson and Buller, and for most of the North Island it stays dry. There's more cloud pushing in towards the western side of both islands, but generally the wetter weather is down in the south. In terms of our temperatures, well, overnight lows around about 12 degrees Celsius through those central parts of the North Island. A very warm night in Wellington, a very warm start to the day tomorrow, but I think we are going to find nothing too cold over the next night or so. As we go through to Tuesday, we'll find that rainfall continues on its northward journey up the South Island, heaviest through the ranges of Westland and Fiordland. It's a patchy affair out towards the east, but we will find a brief spell of rain as that front runs through, and then it turns generally cloudier with some drizzle to end the day in Canterbury. Down in the far southern parts of the South Island, things brighten up quite nicely towards the end of the day. For the North Island, well, an odd shower here and there for perhaps those central parts of the Auckland region and up through parts of the Bay of Plenty. But for most of us, for most of the day, it's a dry story. Just more cloud around those western areas, but some more high temperatures out towards the east, back to around about 30 degrees Celsius, for example, in Napier. Let's have a look at the watches and warnings there. With that rain moving up from the south, there are some heavy rain watches for Fiordland and also the ranges of Westland. And that's really as we go through the night time tonight for the likes of Fiordland through to the morning time on a Tuesday, and during the daytime for those ranges of Westland. The heaviest rainfall up in the ranges there. And it has been a pretty dry story down that western coast for a fair while now, so hopefully that rain helpfully lifting up some of the water tanks through there. But do keep a close eye on the forecast as we head through the next day or so. For the North Island, we'll be looking at generally dry weather. There's more cloud you can see pushing through on towards the western coast, in towards parts of Taranaki, down towards the Kapiti coast. But as we head through the daytime, that'll break up and clear away. There's an odd shower, perhaps springing up through parts of the Coromandel and the Bay of Plenty. If you're very unlucky, you might catch one or two through the central parts of, say, the Auckland region, but I think most of those will be very isolated indeed. For many of us, it's a dry story. Some of the best of the sunshine, though, through the eastern parts, places like Wairarapa and up in towards Gisborne, with plenty of dry and sunny weather. Bit of patchy cloud here and there for the morning and the afternoon in Wellington, but most of the day, it's a dry, fine story. Just watching out for those winds picking up. Now, in terms of our temperatures, with the best of the sunshine and a bit more of those northwesterly winds, we'll find our highs around about 31 degrees Celsius through parts of Hawke's Bay, 30 or so for the likes of Napier there. Elsewhere, it's nothing too cold. In fact, looking at temperatures around about 27 degrees in Hamilton, 22 there in New Plymouth, just in time for the start of the Kapahaka Festival through there. In fact, the week is looking pretty decent for you right the way through towards Saturday. Down on the South Island, that's where we start to find our next lot of weather. And it starts off down the south, some of those heavy spalls of rain for the morning time through parts of Fiordland, moving up fairly early on in towards the western coast. Some heavy falls again, particularly up about the western ranges. And you'll find some patchy rain making its way across towards Southland and Otago. That starts to clear off, some brighter weather through the afternoon for you. This band of wet weather, or it's cloud, runs up through Canterbury and in towards parts of Marlborough. Perhaps brings an isolated shower just for a time, before things generally turn cloudier as we head through the afternoon. And where that cloud runs in towards the foothills, it will generate some drizzle as well. But I think rainfall total is still relatively low on the eastern side, north of about Dunedin. Down in the south, I think that wet weather arrives first thing. It starts to clear off, and the end of the day looks to be a little bit better, back in towards southwesterlies later on. In terms of our temperatures, highs of about 26 degrees Celsius there in Christchurch, not too shabby, and overnight lows of 13. Looking ahead in towards the rest of the week, we are going to find this front continues to move northwards during Wednesday. Brings a bit more in the way of cloud and some patchy rain across the southern parts of the North Island as we head through the daytime on Wednesday. Up in the far north, though, things generally looking to be staying dry and clear through there. And the South Island, the return of that dry weather as well. A similar sort of story as we head through towards Thursday. More cloud around this eastern coast of the North Island, perhaps some showers pushing through into towards parts of Hawke's Bay and into Gisborne. Not as warm as it was at the start of the week, but plenty of dry weather down in the south. That's it from me. There's more at metservice.com.